G'day guys, how's it going? Monday morning, packed weekend, busy as usual, doing some custom work and it takes a lot of creative energy for that, and sometimes it's hard, but you push through, which is why I only take on a certain amount of custom orders at a time. Quality, creativity, and geez, some people say, well, what do you mean? I go, well, sometimes we've actually even referred customers to other people because, well, it's the style. If they're looking for a certain style and we're like, well, we're not enthusiastic about that style, so, well, we know someone who is, why not refer them on? Pay it forward. Geez. Anyways, on subtle DS, there's some things that are really obvious, and some things that are really subtle, like this. That's my collar. I don't take it off. It's got a little bell on it. And I joke around, people say, oh, well, it's because then my owner knows where I am all the time. I can't sneak up on him. Actually, sometimes I do. I can manage to walk without the bell making a lot of noise. But subtle DS, it doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be, out there. And in some ways it's kind of good that it can be subtle and, something that no one knows about, but you can be out in public and doing it. I mean, just things like, talking with somebody and comparing the whole 24/7 and doing it with somebody, and, so it's pretty much like, and they've been in the scene for a while, and they kind of just said, he's just realised that, the whole 24/7 thing, it's really more like a 1950s kind of household image, and it's not like on all the time. It's not like ramped up, and not always the deferences, the bowing, the scraping, the being naked or not, or bound or whatever all the time. I said, no, it's not. it's really, they said it's really, really different and really interesting, and just making comparatives on what they see, what they've seen, what they're experiencing, and then pretty much the subtleties within a 24/7 DS couple are, for some people hard to understand, hard to recognise, and in some ways that's also a good thing. It kind of keeps it that little secret thing going on. But pretty much relationships, like any other relationship, as I've said, we just have a different perspective, a different layer, a different context to understand it by. In that, in some ways, yes, for the most part, you can be more aware of certain situations, talking, communications, techniques and methods of doing things. However, that's not purely restricted to, the people that practice DS 24/7. It's it's something that, vanilla couples can have and do have. And being subtle doesn't have to be obvious. Little things like, I said, people that wanted tips for bringing it into everyday life. I said, well, subtle things like waiting until someone's seated before sitting down, waiting until somebody starts eating before eating, subtle nods, looks, whatnot. Things like that. Just general things like how how someone would be if they were a really good host, looking after things, checking up on people, making sure things are all right and set, things like that. That can be a whole part of the whole subtle DS thing. And it's not just the visual stuff as well, the mannerisms, the deferential treatments and all that sort of stuff, which you would see also in loving couples and stuff like that. Little things like, on the weekend I was at someone's place, and I was saying, okay, well, I'll make sure that this is going on, and I'll check to see if they need more food, and I'll grab their plate of food before I grab mine, and make sure they're settled before I do all sorts of other stuff. So things like that. It's not overtly out there, it's subtle, but to a lot of people who do the subtleties, do the 24/7 DS aspect of it, they would recognize that kind of behavior, the deference, and just, you know, those things. I mean, like I said, it's not just the visual stuff, like, you know, subtle collars and stuff like that. It is the behavior and the posture and the, you know, the consideration there. So when you think about it that way, and you look at things in a completely like a DS context, you look around you, how many things in everyday life can be interpreted as being a dominant and submissive relationship. Example, like working for your employer, you know, there is areas where you'll be more dominant and submissive in working for an employer, and a lot of people say, oh, no one tells me what to do. I go, well, you know, laws. Laws, if you want to talk strictly in that sort of, oh, every answer me every second, I go, well, no, you still obey laws. You still obey, you know, your own common decency, your own ethics, your own moralities, whatever that may be. So you're technically submissive into that. But, yeah, because I mean, if you weren't, you'd be in big trouble. Anyways, subtleties. Have you seen these sort of subtle behaviours and kind of thought, I don't know what that is, what's going on there? And now that I've mentioned it, do you now go, oh, okay, so that's what was going on there? And, or do you actually participate in subtle DS and live it 24/7? What are the things that you do every day to be able to, you know, bring that out into your life? And how does it make you feel? When was the last time you actually thought about the stuff that you do that sort of enforces and, you know, brings in mind the DS aspect of it, you know, behaviours, the way you think even. So think about it that way. And, or, you know, would you like to try it? You know, try a brief session of sort of subtle DS behaviour where it's more behavioural, postural, you know, not as obvious. Anyways, it's Monday, starting to get a little warmer, but, you know, the echo still hasn't been, so it could get a lot colder with the cold winds. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.